Hi, I'm Jason Sterling. This is an RM Cascadian travel vlog, and today we're going to talk about what is there to do on the Carnival Vista. Okay, so let me say right off the bat, the Carnival Vista is my favorite ship in the Carnival fleet. For a while there, of course, it was the largest ship in the fleet, was the biggest ship. And as such, it had certain things that other ships in the fleet didn't. And we're going to touch on a lot of the stuff on the ship, but I want to touch on those two things that it has that other ships don't have first. And one of those is the Sky Rider. Now, you've probably seen pictures of it, kind of the bicycle track around the ship. And believe me, when it works, it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. Now, I think it breaks down sometimes. And for sure, when on my voyage, last voyage on the Vista, it was broken almost the entire time. To the point I was afraid I wouldn't get a chance to ride it. But they got it fixed, and everybody wanted to ride it, and it took like 2 hours. It took like 2 hours. I'm not kidding. It was like being at Disney World. It took so damn long to ride that thing. It took like 2 hours. My son was dying to ride it. And so I did. We waited in line. I waited with him. And I'm like, okay, son, make a mental note of this. This is how a dad acts. Okay, you wait in line with your son, even when you don't want to, even when you're dying for a drink, you wait in line with your son because your son really wants to do something. So we waited, and it is a lot of fun. It's a little bit tougher than some people may think, to get all the way around. My son did have a little bit of trouble because he was younger, he's younger, and he's shorter, so his legs don't have as much of that force of pressure, right? But we still had a great time riding it. It's a really cool innovation for Carnival ships. I did like it. Not as cool as a roller coaster. But it is pretty cool. The other thing that I really like is there's an IMAX movie theater on the Vista. A lot of times I don't have time to go see movies, during my normal work week. And it's great on vacation to be able to go see a movie. And they've got an IMAX. And I'm not kidding here. Okay, that IMAX statement, that is not like IMAX in quotes. That's like IMAX for real. It is a real IMAX theater. It's huge. It's like 3 decks high. So it's a full IMAX theater with first-run movies. But the only drawback is I feel like there's not enough movies. I'd go see several, if they had them. They typically have, I think they had like 3 maybe, and maybe only one of them actually wanted to see. So both of those are so excellent. They're so great on the Vista. They've only got an IMAX theater on one other ship, maybe the Horizon, and then the follow-up ship of that class. They turned that area into kind of like a kid's trampoline area. Also very cool. Don't get me wrong. I have a son. He would love that too. I can definitely see Carnival over the years has definitely transformed into almost as much of a family line as Disney. And I'm not kidding. Most of the time, Carnival is a family cruise line. So, I definitely see them doing that, and I think that was fine. Now, some of the other stuff that the ship has to do, this is pretty much going to be daytime stuff. We're going to tackle the daytime first. Although, this could be night too. This first one could be nighttime too. Okay, so the reason why this could be nighttime too is the thrill theater. They also have a thrill theater on some of the ships. The Vista has a thrill theater. A thrill theater is kind of like Disney. When you go to one of their sort of attractions and it's like a 3D movie and there's wind and water and the seats move around, right? It's that. That's exactly what it is. And it's a lot of fun. My son loves it. I love it. When I've been on there, you could get a pass, so you could just go whenever you wanted. Or you can choose to say, well, I just want to see this one film. Right, I just want to do it this one time. It's really cool. I like that. It doesn't take up a huge amount of space on there either. Like the IMAX takes up a lot of billable room, right? Thrill Theater doesn't take up a huge amount of space. I really like those. I hope they keep them on ships. It is a lot of fun. It's like an amusement park ride, right? So I totally recommend it. There's also, up on deck, there's a ropes course. It's always a lot of fun too. You do have to wear closed-toe shoes, so keep that in mind. First couple of times I went wearing flip-flops. Nope, no flip-flops, no barefoot. Got to go put on tennis shoes or something like that. There's also miniature golf. My son and I are big deal. We play miniature golf over and over and over on this ship. I love it. And it's a lot of fun when the ship moves and there's a lot of wind. It kind of adds a little bit of a fourth dimensional element to your miniature golf game. Miniature golf's great. There's the sports area is also great if you want to play basketball and stuff like that. We also really love foosball and even pool at sea. Again, yeah, everything moves around, but it's part of the fun. And this costs extra, but there's like a bowling video type game where you actually throw the ball, but then the pins are video pins and stuff. That's a lot of fun. We really enjoy that. So that's all kind of up there in that sports deck area. That's place you're going to find us a lot. Opposite that is the water park. Another place you're going to find us a lot. Carnival has excellent water parks nowadays on their ships. Major slides and, there's also like I don't know what you call it, splash pad type area, because like the bucket that dumps the water and little buckets that dump water, fountains that pop up, right? So all of that is there. Very, very cool. I like it as much as my kid likes it, and a lot of adults like it. If you're going on a cruise for the first time, whether it's the Vista or something else, and you're thinking, I don't know, I really want to do the slide, but, that's for kids. I don't want to look stupid. You're not going to look stupid, okay? Because there's more adults sometimes on that than there are kids. And if you're afraid you're going to feel a little stupid, have a drink first. Get some liquid courage. Get some liquid, inhibition lowerer. Go hit the slides. So we do that a lot. Now, there's also there's all of this is kind of on all the ships too. The water park is on like all the ships, and miniature golf. You find that I think even on older ships now they've been retrofitted with these attractions. There's 2 pools on board, aft and midship. There's also the adult Serenity Deck if you're an adult. The adult Serenity Deck is a great thing to do during the day for adults. There's hot tubs there. Adults only. That's right. You're not going to have kids turning the hot tub into a heated bathtub that you can dive into. So if you're concerned about that, there are at least 2 up there. I think 2, 1 on each side. Something in my head tells me 4, 2 on each side. I don't know why I think that. Let's go with 2. And if there's 4, surprise. I think I'm remembering that wrong. But also up on Serenity, you have like a salad bar place seat. You have a bar up there. And guess what? If you're an adult, it connects directly to Serenity, to the Serenity Spa. So if you have that package, the thermal suite's right downstairs. The gym is right downstairs. If you're in a spa room, it's right downstairs. All of that is self-contained and it's excellent. And I'm going to say real quick, I'm going to orotate here. That's one thing I don't like about the Mardi Gras is it looks like the spa is in the middle of the ship, way down below. And from what I can see, like a lot of the spa rooms are kind of scattered and stuff. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's contained to me. And you're not going to be able to get directly to the Serenity Deck, right? Because right now, like on, say, the Vista, that's almost like just a little adults only area. Because the spa is also adults only, 18 and above. With the exception, there are very few sort of like mom and daughter. Could be mom and son too. That's sexist, Carnival, by the way. Mom and daughter, mom and son type things you can do, or dad and son is what I'm thinking. I saw dad and son. It could be dad and daughter though as well. I'm sure it was like a massage or something. So yeah, I mean, it could be. So your kids can go with you to do that, but otherwise no kids. No toddlers, none of that, right? Now, I love kids. Don't take that the wrong way. I do. I have a kid, and I love him. I hang out with him the whole time I'm on the cruise. I love kids. So, but that is there as well. Now, you always have the general sort of cruise things to do. You have a casino, of course, always open 24 hours a day, I think. Maybe sometimes in port, it's not. Sometimes in port, it's not. You have shopping, of course. You have food. I'm going to tell you right now, this will kill more time than almost anything. Nothing. Doing nothing takes an immense amount of time. Getting out of bed, somehow getting some sort of clothing on, getting upstairs, eating, walking, looking, staring at the water. All of that takes a huge amount of time. You'll be surprised how much time you're able to spend on nothing. So there is always that to do too. Now, there's also, I'll throw in real quick before we move on to nighttime stuff. There's also a library on board with a small selection of books and a somewhat pretty good selection of games, like board games and stuff, if you want to check one out, with your kids and hang out. There's some other stuff around too on deck. There's things like, like there'll be a checkers set up on deck, with the checker pieces will usually be nearby in what looks like a bench. Lift up. There's the pieces. There's stuff like that you can do. So keep that in mind. You're also going to have your usual sort of stupid deck parties or not parties. They're not really parties. They're competitions. Yeah. Like hairy chest competition and stupid dancing competition and drunken whatever competition. Those are always going on during the day. You have a wide variety of stuff like that inside as well, like in the liquid lounge, the kind of show lounge, where they're doing the newlywed game or the port talk, stuff like that. And sometimes they do some trivia stuff. Trivia games, the trivia is usually fun on Ocean Plaza. They're going to have a lot of stuff like that. Trivia is fun. They do a kind of rolling clue game sometimes where you get hints like each day to figure out who did it, like the clue board game. There is Build-A-Bear at Sea. I was about to say for kids, but it could be for adults too. I'm telling you right now, it is for adults too, because when I go on the Celebration, which is the Carnival 50th anniversary cruise in March, they're going to have like a 50th anniversary sort of Build-A-Bear thing. Well, I'm obviously doing that. So it's for adults too, because I'm obviously doing that. I'm going to rub it on my heart and stick it in, talk to it and all that stuff. So that Build-A-Bear. At least you have some other kid stuff like a Dr. Seuss sort of breakfast, things like that, which is fun. And it's really fun to see the kids do, if you happen to catch it, do the Dr. Seuss parade. Cruise director will usually lead the sort of Dr. Seuss parade down the main promenade of all the kids. That's loads of fun. And sometimes just watching the kids is fun. It is. If you happen to see them doing something either with one of the kids clubs or a group of them, a lot of times kid watching is hilarious on a ship. So that's that. Now, for the nighttime. In the old days, Carnival used to be kind of a big nighttime stuff to do boat, I felt. You had a lot of nightclub type stuff, right? And things stayed open late. Things stayed open really late. Nowadays, it's not as much the case. Carnival has a lot of bars. So they have the pub. They have the Havana bar. They have a sports bar. They have the Alchemy bar. They have Ocean Plaza has a bar. The lobby bar, so on and so forth, right? What they don't have on the Vista, despite all those bars, they don't have a nightclub. They have, now all those bars typically, well, not all of them. No, maybe all of them. Have like, the sports bar doesn't have live music at various times, right? So they do have music, usually live at various times. And that's nice. I totally dig that. That's nice. Sports bar doesn't. Sports bar has sports, as you can guess. But they don't have a nightclub with just your standard DJ selections. Now, on the Vista, the Limelight Lounge, which is the comedy club, and yes, Carnival has great comedians, real popular on the ship. The comedy club is a really popular thing to do at night now. There might be 3, 4 shows a night. Used to be at most you'd have 2, sometimes 1, sometimes none, right? So their comedy offerings have really come along. And the Limelight Lounge is kind of their comedy club on the ship. Now, I have never gone on the Vista because the line is out the door. Okay, I'm not kidding you. The line is down the hall 45 minutes before the show starts because it's so crowded, because there's so many people want to see it. It is good. I saw it on the Breeze recently because the ship was half empty and I could get in and get a seat. They are good. They're really good. That particular venue, I guess, kind of becomes a nightclub. So like after the comedians, you can kind of dance and move the seats out of the way, I guess, or maybe it's the stage. And there'll be a DJ playing some tunes, right? In theory, I think the Liquid Lounge, Show Lounge, is supposed to also do double duty like that. But I'm going to be honest, I don't think I can remember it being used for that at all. I mean, I mostly just remember the Limelight Lounge being used in that fashion. Now, one thing that Carnival does have that I feel like is a change that is good, even though it's not late, they have a lot of cruise director-led parties. And sometimes, like even after the main party, it'll go ahead. I noticed this on the Vista, which also maybe is kind of acting as a nightclub. It's not the same thing, but okay. They would go up on Serenity Deck, adults only. So by at that point, your kids are going to bed. No more parties for the kids. And it's pretty late at that point. That's probably a good idea. But they go up on Serenity Deck and they'll play music and stuff up there. Again, not really all that late though, maybe midnight, 1 o'clock. And you don't have the same sort of ambiance and environment that you do in a nightclub. Okay. That's going to be my take on that. But I do love the cruise director-led parties, right? White party, 80s party, that kind of an elegant night type party, Motown party. All of those were so much fun. They were so much fun, especially if you have a good cruise director and you have a lively Carnival crowd, and you always have a lively Carnival crowd because Carnival passengers in general tend to be friendly and outgoing. I'm going to say that real quick. And I've heard other people comment on this. I've never been on another cruise line. I don't know, but I've heard other people comment on this in regard to Carnival, that the people on Carnival are really outgoing. The other passengers, they're talkative. You can sit down next to them, they'll strike up a conversation. If you strike up a conversation with them, they'll start talking. You know, you meet someone at the bar you've never met before and end up hanging out all night long, right? Hanging out. So I have heard that, and that is kind of true. So it's a lot of fun. I really, really do like that, and I think that's a great thing. I wish this was later. I don't want to necessarily go to bed at 1 a.m. It sounds late maybe to you right now watching this on YouTube, but no, I want to be up to like 3 or 4. You know, go to bed early every night of the week at home. I work. I'm a parent. I want to be up late. And in the old days, I would go to the casino bar and stay up till about 3. It was open to about 3 or 3:30. And there's lively music there. Now, I don't smoke, and yes, it's like being in a building on fire. I get that. It is. I mean, going to the casino is like entering a building on fire. But I would still go to that bar and just risk it. I'm taking my life in my own hands. You know, I'm not a kindergarten teacher. I live dangerously on the edge. That's actually a quote from the movie Last Days of Disco. I live dangerously on the edge. I'm not a kindergarten teacher. So I'm not either. And not go there now if people are smoking. Okay, fine, I can stand it. A lot of nightclubs people smoke. That's not too unusual. But then it always had lively music. There's always a lot of people around and noise and stuff going on, right? So it almost could double as a nightclub. Well, it's gone now. It's gone now. I'm not going to get too hostile about it. I'm not going to get too upset. I don't like it, though. They took the bars out of the casino, so I guess the bar for the casino is going to be the sports bar right next door. I don't even really like sports bars. I don't want to go watch sports. If I want to watch sports, I could just stay home. Watch all the sports I want to watch, right? So they took the casino bar out, and especially on the Vista, I loved it. It had a smaller version of the LED kind of funnel, right? And so, that you had those movement up there and all the pictures going around, this great music, and it's this great round bar. It's like 2 stories, went up 2 stories. I loved it. I cannot believe they took it out. They need to put it back. They need to put it back. I mean, if the problem was the smoke, and I think the problem was the smoke, there were a lot of complaints to the deck above because it was 2 stories. They had it glassed in. And I'll admit with the complaint. I'll agree with the complaints. I don't think it was as bad as people made out, but yeah, you could smell cigarette smoke on the deck up. So I think they kind of took it out for that reason. But for God's sakes, just make it no smoking at the bar. Okay, make it only smoking at the gaming tables. Make it no smoking at the bar. Put the bar back. That's my thought on it. That's my thought on it. Anyway, that's what I used to do. Now, the other thing you do at night on Carnival is eat and do nothing like before, like during the day. That takes up a lot of time. Takes up a lot of time to eat and do nothing. Also, though, they have movies out by the pool. You know, they have a big screen out by the pool, shows movies. They're not exactly first run, but, you know, they're usually not too far out of release, you know, so maybe you'd call it second run. Used to be, you know, you'd have the first run, and then maybe like a month later, they'd be at the Dollar Theater. So maybe like that sort of stage, right? Great sound, great picture. I really love that. My son especially loves it. My son does love to go out there and watch movies. You know, he loves to get in the pool, you know, watch the movies from the pool. Someone said, I don't know, I didn't check this out. Someone said now they charge for popcorn. I know. I feel your pain. I do feel your pain on that one. I don't eat popcorn. I didn't want any anyway. But if you like popcorn, come on. Carnival popcorn costs like 10 cents. It costs like nothing. And I get you want to make money wherever you can make money. I get that. You're a corporation. But sometimes you make more money by making friends. And you make friends by giving them free popcorn when they're watching a movie. So I think they should bring that back. I do. No, aside from that, at nighttime, you know, that's about it. The things have already been mentioned. Yes, IMAX is at night. Thrill Theater is at night. Shopping's at night. All those things during the day still could take place at night. Now, the sports deck really isn't that usable. The only, you know, one thing I haven't mentioned is there's an arcade. Obviously, it costs more. That's probably why I didn't mention it. They do have a video arcade. It's fairly sizable. My son and I will go in there to play air hockey. That's something we like to play. But, you know, it's expensive. The place is expensive. It's like a casino for kids. So they do have it. They have all the kids' programs. Usually are kind of located nearby. So your kids can do the kids' programs during the day and at night as well. My son, I haven't spoken much on him because my son doesn't like them. He's never really given them a chance, though, but he doesn't want to do it. He went one time. I told him he could check himself in and out. That way, if he didn't like it, he could leave and come and find me, and it was 30 minutes. Then he left and came and found me. And he's told me he'd just soon just hang out with me anyway. Well, that's mostly because I act like a kid anyway. My family will tell you, well, sure, kids love you, Jason. You're just like them. You know, you just act like a big kid. Kid looks at you and says, for lunch today, can we have cake and ice cream? You're like, oh my God, that's a fantastic idea. Yeah, let's go get some cake and ice cream for lunch. Well, yeah, of course I do. We're on vacation. Actually, I do. So that's the stuff kids can do at night and during the day as well. And that's the activities kind of on the boat. And I love the Vista. I love the Breeze. Vista and the Breeze are my two favorite ships. But the Vista is an excellent ship. If you have any questions, please post them down below. If you feel like there's something I missed or something you heard about that I didn't mention, post it down below. And I'm happy to answer any questions. You know, talking like this sort of train of thought, free thought type speaking. Sometimes I do forget something. But I think that's pretty close to what you have. A lot of great comedians at night, a lot of great live music. And I think that Carnival does a pretty good job. Even still, they just need to go later. In the meantime, hit like, subscribe, and notify. And I will see you next time. Next time, I think we're up to the point where I'm just going to do the general overview, like my final review of traveling on the Carnival Vista out of Galveston, Texas. Thanks for watching.